What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. And today I am filming a video because I want to talk about breakdowns and breakthroughs. And I want to make sure that I explain things as thoroughly as possible. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the comment section below. Before I get started, I want to say welcome to all of my new visitors. If you are visiting here for the first time and have not subscribed, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you are a returning visitor but haven't subscribed, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. Make sure you click the bell and turn the notifications to all so that you are not missing out on any of my content. And also make sure you give me a thumbs up, okay? And to my fam bam, thank y'all for rocking with me. I appreciate you for sticking around and showing your girl some love and support. And again, be sure to interact with me in the comment section of this video. Make sure you are anything. I'm sliding through to catch you on the replay, and I keep saying that in all of my videos because sometimes that's what I have to do when I'm binge watching videos for content creators that I really enjoy watching. Trust me when I say every little bit helps, and we appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to get into talking about breakdowns and breakthroughs. And one of the most important things that I want to point out is that we're not just going to be talking about, I guess, what people would consider emotional breakdowns. Breakdowns don't only pertain to your emotional well-being. Your car can break down, your body can break down, your mind can break down. You can physically break something down for whatever reason, okay? And so when I talk about breakdowns, I want you to think outside the box and think of just the word breakdown, how that can be applied to any particular thing. So an examples again of breakdowns is you can have a medical breakdown, emotional breakdown, a mental breakdown, psychological breakdown, physical breakdown. You can break things down mathematically, okay? And so again, we want to make sure that we're thinking outside the box. Why is this important? And I'm going to continue to say that. Y'all know I love analogies. You know I love analogies. And one of the things that helps me to not just be able to understand but to explain things is to do it using analogies. Sometimes we're going to take, for example, if you have an emotional or a mental breakdown, when a person is experiencing a crisis and they're having what's considered a emotional or mental breakdown, they are actually going through a process of not being able to handle certain things that are happening in their life. It could be due to trauma, it could be due to loss, it could be due to stress, it could be for whatever reason. You just hit a wall. You're at a point now where you are just completely overwhelmed, and the way that your stress is manifesting itself is by you just mentally and emotionally cannot handle any more pressure, okay? And so again, physical, when you're talking about physical or medical, like for me, I'll use me as an example. My body was breaking down and I had to make decisions about my particular lifestyle and what I was going to do in order for me to turn that situation around. We're not talking about like a broken leg or something like that. We're talking about where your medical or your health is just out of control. Diabetes, high blood pressure, just all sorts of things that's happening to your body. And it could be self-induced, it could be environmental, it could be, for whatever reason your body is now, again, you hit a wall from a physical standpoint because your body is at a point now where it can't take anymore. So now you have to start trying to figure out what it is you need to do to heal yourself, okay? And then again, from a psychological standpoint, psychological and I say theoretical, a lot of times people, they do the research in order to know what, like if they're people who read the Bible, for example, or a person who like people who are creative, they theorize and they analyze different things psychologically, carnally, because they're just in the habit of picking things apart. They need to get to the root of something. And so from a theoretical or psychological analytical standpoint, you're constantly looking at something under a microscope, because you want to be able to pick it apart, where you can figure out the root of the issue, the root of the like where the focus comes from, different things like that. And so again, we're talking mathematically. We got people who are geniuses who can actually break something down from a mathematical standpoint and get you down to, like, say people who are really good with budgeting. They break down the cost and spending to the penny. They'll be able to tell you what's going on with that situation to the penny. And then from a physical standpoint, sometimes, like say for example, if you're a homeowner and or you're purchasing a home, a pre-existing home, and there's nothing wrong with the bare bones of the home, but there are like sheetrock in the windows and different things like that that's in the home that may not, maybe it's time for them to be replaced, because again, it's a pre-existing home. And you're looking at it and you're thinking you don't need to tear the house down completely, but what you need to do is you need to pull it apart at the different points, whether it's the sheetrock or the windows. Maybe you're pulling up the floor. Maybe you don't need to replace the roof, but you need to replace the ceiling on the inside. And you're doing this in order for you to, here's the next part, right? To get your breakthrough. In other words, your success, where you are able to feel like you've actually made it over that hump day, Wednesday. You feel like once you get past Wednesday, man, the week is just about over, and you feel this sense of relief that you are now over that hump. And all you got to do is just keep on trekking, because from here it's just it's just down the other side of the hill, right? It's that Monday, Tuesday getting up to the hump that got you pushing a little bit harder, breathing a little bit harder. But let's take a trip back. So break down. We're talking about something from like I said, different angles. You're talking about being in a position where you need to probably got to start all over. You need to go back to the drawing board. You need to rethink your original plan. You need to look at the structure, the bare bones, the meat of the situation, and decide if maybe you don't have to tear it all the way down or break it all the way down, but you need to pick it apart in order for you to figure out where you need to shift and pivot to correct whatever the issue is. And all of this is relevant because as we move through life and make decisions about things that are important to us, sometimes things are going to work and it's going to go off without a hitch. But there are sometimes, no matter how hard we try, the things that we push and push and push in order to progress in, they don't always work. Sometimes we have to put a pin in things. Sometimes we have to pause. Sometimes we have to shift and pivot in order to figure out how to look at this thing a little differently, so that we can really get to the finish line, so that we can actually be able to move forward, so that we can have some successes in this situation, especially if it's ongoing. So you have to look at the breakdown part of it, not always from a negative standpoint, because sometimes it's good to be broken down because it puts you in the mindset that maybe what you were doing and you thought it was working wasn't really working. And so now you got this clarity that yes, in order for you to be happy, in order for you to be successful, in order for you to feel progressive, in order for you to feel like you are accomplishing something, in order for you to feel good about who you are and where you are and what you're doing, that breakdown had to happen in order to humble you, in order to open your eyes, to open your mind, in order to put you in a position where you had to hear. Because sometimes when we're moving through life, we're so caught up in everything that we got going on, we can't hear anything. That's just like two people that are arguing at each other. Somebody has to be quiet in order to hear the other person. If you're constantly going, so think about that. Your mind is constantly going, your body is constantly going, your emotions are constantly going. Everything is going at one time. But when you have that breakdown, it's quiet. It's completely quiet. You're left to feel, to hear, to see, to know all those things in a much different state. And sometimes you have to go through a little pain, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, whatever the situation is, in order to get there. I'm not talking to you about something I heard. I'm talking to you about something I know. Out of all the things that I've been through in my life, I hated being in the place where I was when I was hurting and when I felt damaged and when I felt broken. But if I hadn't been there, there's some things I would not have learned about myself. That is so specifically important, because you need to know who you are. You need to know who you are. You need to know what you're made of. And some people learn it early in life, and some people learn it much later in life. Some people are still struggling to figure it out, because they might be in a situation where they haven't had that breakdown yet, and it's coming, and they don't know it, and they might not be ready for it. Are you always going to be ready when you have to go through a breakdown? No. Are you always going to be prepared financially when you have to break your situation down, so to speak? No. Are you always going to want to? No, most definitely not. But here's the deal. If you allow yourself, right? If you allow yourself to not succumb, but to be open to change, then you might realize that you like something other than what you were experiencing, right? You might realize that there's something about yourself that seems brand new, right? Because now, after the breakdown, you're starting to rebuild yourself. Your health is getting better. You're starting to understand that fried chicken that you was always eating is not good for you. You're starting to realize that maybe you have an addiction to sweets. You're starting to realize that maybe you allow too many little itty bitty things to bother you on such a grand scale, right? You're starting to realize that you thought you had your budget under control, but you're spending way much more money than you even realized in areas that you could scale back in. You're starting to realize that everything is not life or death, right? So now you're starting to have your breakthrough. You're starting to feel calmer. You're starting to feel more relaxed. You're starting to understand things better. Your speech is different. Your heart is different. Your mind is different. Your relationships are different. You're moving in your life in a different way because you have a different appreciation for taking care of yourself, for listening to yourself, for accepting the fact that this is a part of your personality and you have to decide whether you are okay with that or whether you want to change that. This is all part of the breakthrough, because breaking through means that you are moving past and you're not allowing these things to hinder you and to keep you in a place where you can't grow. So I just wanted to come and share that with you and just talk a little bit about, having breakdowns and breakthroughs, because they go hand in hand if you allow them to. So in the comment section, y'all, leave me a comment and let me know, if you understand the concept of breakdown, breakthrough. And also leave a suggestion for another viewer. Just a kind word, something that will encourage somebody to keep pressing and keep pushing and keep trying to be the best version of themselves that they can be. I thank you so much for joining me here today. Please come back. Don't forget to click that subscribe button. Make sure you click the bell. Put it on all so that you get the notifications. You don't miss any of my uploads. Make sure you give me a thumbs up, and y'all make sure y'all share this video. Make sure you share. And I appreciate you for watching. If you're not already a member of the Fetch fam, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and download that app, scan my QR code, and get to scanning those receipts. You might as well take advantage of it. You're already spending the money. The receipts translates into points, the points translates into cash, and you can redeem that cash via store card or cash card, or you can donate to charity. Well, all right, we're going to go ahead and get out of here, but you know we don't do so without saying, love yourself, love somebody else, and until next time, y'all take care. Bye.